I want to cover some domestic news that unfolded over the weekend, not in Washington, D.C., but on the other side of the country. On Saturday, a power outage in San Francisco proved just how dependent we've all become on artificial intelligence. With stoplights out and self-driving taxis across the city coming to a standstill, which obviously caused even more traffic chaos. The AI-powered vehicles didn't know what to do other than remain stopped in the middle of the roads when the traffic lights were out. So what can we glean from Saturday's incident? Well, joining me now to discuss this is Jared Bridges. He's the editor-in-chief at the Washington Stand. Jared, thanks for joining me. Appreciate it.
Glad to be back, Jody.
All right, so you and your, let's go on this. You and your team have covered AI quite extensively, so catch us up to speed on what you've been tracking.
Yeah, and just speaking to the incident over the weekend, I think I'm still going to stay with the one-horse open sleigh more than a self-driving car. I don't know about you, Jody.
Perfect timing to go that route, yes.
But yeah, we've had a lot happen this year in the world of artificial intelligence, and just as ChatGPT just came on the scene just a few years ago, like a year's time is almost decades with the way that this technology is advancing, and we're trying to cover it at the Washington Stand as best we can. And it's like sometimes you start writing the article, and by the time you've finished the article, the technology's already changed. And we've seen that a lot this year. And even if you're not a massive user of AI, you're probably seeing it in technologies just like your Google search, right? They're giving you AI summaries of your search. So they're trying to pull out the data, help you find what you're looking for. So the growth has been explosive. It's been integrated into almost everything now. We're seeing a survey a few weeks ago of like pastors were. A high percentage of pastors were using AI in their sermon preparation, so you're not going to get away from it at all.
No, we're not. And as you talked about how rapidly this thing is growing, it really is stunning. But when you have anything that grows this rapidly, particularly something like AI, I would assume at the same time there's something growing along with it that could be pretty dangerous in the long haul. So what are some of the concerns that you have that are growing out of this whole AI movement?
Yeah, we've covered a lot of concerning things that are emerging because this is growing rapidly, and you've got lots of different interested parties taking advantage of these swift changes. We saw earlier this year someone, via the Signal messaging app, sending AI voice impersonations of Secretary of State Rubio to a U.S. senator, to foreign ministers, and an American governor. I mean, imagine the chaos that could cause if it didn't automatically wasn't recognized for a fake as it happened. And we've also seen a slew of headlines this year about, you could rightly call this AI-induced psychosis, where AI chatbots were basically seducing people into people who are mentally vulnerable, and encouraging them to harmful actions, even as far as suicide, making them think they could fly. And it was just headline after headline this summer of these things. And part of the problem on this is because these chatbots are much like your social media is programmed to keep you going, right? It gives you that dopamine hit and keeps you using, much like drug dealers do, right? But they're programmed to keep you using, so you're going to be, they'll flatter you and tell you what you want to hear. And I think that is some of the biggest dangers we've seen over this past year coming out of AI.
Yeah, it really is frightening when you look at all those types of things. And, you know, as someone who served in Congress, we're already seeing the influence of AI in policy as well. So there's no telling where this goes. Jared, it all looks pretty grim, and we've only got a couple of minutes left, but you know, I don't want to, I'll just put it this way. It's probably too strong to put it quite like this. But is there any hope for us humans as AI is coming in? It's like it's taking over everything. What kind of impact is this going to have on us?
Well, I certainly think there is hope, and I think it's going to be up to Christians and people with a biblical worldview to kind of process all of that stuff that's coming in, filter it through the lens of Scripture, and try to keep people from harm and keep people focused on the right way without letting AI dictate that to us. I mean, I've interviewed a couple of groups this year, Christian groups, who are trying to build AIs with biblical guardrails around them. And even having tested those do much better, and they don't try to keep you hooked, and they try to give you a biblical perspective on any kind of issue, even like plumbing or something that you ask it about. So I think there is some hope from that perspective, and we're certainly going to be keeping tabs on that at the Washington Stand as this advances even further.
Yeah, there's no telling where this is going to go. There's a great fear out there that it's going to impact the economy. People are going to be losing jobs because some sort of AI program or whatever can do it better than humans and all this kind of stuff. There's no telling where this is going, but we must stay grounded in truth, stay grounded in Scripture now more than ever. All right, Jared Bridges, editor-in-chief of the Washington Stand, as always. Great to have you on Washington Watch. You do an outstanding job, you and your team at the Washington Stand. If you who are watching and listening right now do not take advantage of the Washington Stand, I want to strongly encourage you to do so. Jared, thanks for joining me. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.